Al Horford's defense throughout the entire 2024 playoffs for the Boston Celtics was vital, but specifically how he guarded in the NBA Finals was impressive. According to NBA.com's head-to-head matchup data, Al Horford held Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, a duo dubbed as the greatest offensive backcourt in NBA history, to a combined 15 for 45 shooting from the field, equating to just 33%. How Horford can cover the landscape of the court so seamlessly, being able to switch out to the perimeter, guard drop coverage, as well as lock up the post and interior, adds a component to the Warriors' defense that's going to make them extremely tough to score on. I mentioned this in my video about D'Anthony Melton and Will Richard. The Warriors had the league's #1 defensive rating post-All-Star break in 2025, and that was without a top defender in Melton. Now you add Melton and the aforementioned defensive range of Horford, and this adds a combination that could legitimately give Golden State a generational defense. In 2024-25, Horford displayed defense late in the season that resembled his 2024 finals self. Watch how he guards Luka right here, keeping his hands up at all times, moving his feet, and staying on balance to rip it away. From timing up the release point of Luka's jumper with top-notch hand-eye coordination, to cutting off LeBron's drive with elite lateral quickness and anticipation, Horford showed he's a great matchup for the Lakers, a top Golden State rival. When you combine Horford with Draymond, and whether Al's coming off the bench or starting next to Green at the 5, he's going to make the Warriors' front line a nightmare to get buckets on. The Warriors already had one anchor in Draymond, and now they've got another. Scary work. Al Horford's defensive metrics from the 2024 playoffs tell an even deeper story of how impactful he was. According to StatMuse, Horford posted a defensive rating of just 107.8 during Boston's title run, one of the lowest among all bigs who played significant playoff minutes. His ability to anchor a defense without fouling was crucial. He averaged only 2.1 fouls per game in the postseason, despite often being tasked with guarding elite scorers on switches. That discipline is exactly what Golden State needs alongside Draymond, as it gives them another vet who knows how to control tempo on defense without bailing opponents out. Furthermore, Horford's presence consistently forced opponents into lower quality shots, with players shooting nearly 6% worse than their averages when guarded by him. For a Warriors team already built on forcing misses and capitalizing in transition, his advanced defensive impact will blend perfectly with their up-tempo system. What makes Horford's game even more impressive at this stage of his career is how well he maintains his conditioning. At 39 years old, he logged 60 games in the 2024-25 season while still averaging over 27 minutes per contest. Horford's ability to stay available and avoid major injuries, even while guarding bruising bigs and quick guards, is a testament to his preparation and professionalism. Golden State's long-valued vets who take care of their bodies, from Andre Iguodala to Sean Livingston, and Horford fits directly into that mold. His ability to handle postseason workloads without a drop-off in defensive intensity is part of what makes this acquisition so valuable. For a Warriors team that often struggles to keep its rotation healthy deep into May and June, having Horford's durability is a massive plus. Beyond defense, Horford quietly adds another layer to the Warriors' offense. In 23-24, he shot 41.2% from three-point range, the second highest mark of his career, while averaging 4 attempts per game. That type of floor spacing is going to be invaluable for Golden State's motion-heavy system, especially in lineups where Draymond is operating as the primary playmaker. Defenses will be forced to respect Horford on the perimeter, meaning fewer opportunities for opponents to clog the paint when Stephen Curry runs his split actions. For the Warriors, his ability to both knock down catch-and-shoot threes and keep the ball moving with quick decisions makes him a seamless offensive fit. Leadership is another underrated part of what Horford brings to Golden State. On Boston, he was the clear veteran voice who kept the locker room calm through high-pressure situations, often praised by Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown for his steadying influence. In Golden State, Horford will step into a group that already has Curry, Draymond, and Butler as leaders, but his presence gives them another high-IQ veteran who's seen every playoff situation imaginable. With young players like Moses Moody, Brandon Podziemski, Quentin Post, and Will Richards still developing, Horford's mentorship could accelerate their growth. Just like Andre Iguodala did for years, Horford doesn't have to be the loudest voice, that's Draymond, but his professionalism and example will carry weight in a locker room full of championship aspirations. Defensively, Horford gives Golden State a reliable option against the Western Conference's biggest challenges. You saw how he guarded the Lakers earlier, but against teams like Denver, he provides another big body to throw at Nikola Jokic, while also being mobile enough to guard Jamal Murray on switches in pick-and-roll situations. Against the Mavericks, his track record of slowing down Anthony Davis will be invaluable. Against the Timberwolves, he can stretch Rudy Gobert out to the perimeter and punish Minnesota for leaving him open, all while still providing rim protection. Having Horford in the lineup means Steve Kerr can mix and match defensive schemes without fear of being exploited. The versatility he brings could very well be the difference in a playoff series decided by a handful of defensive stops. Finally, there's the bigger picture of what Horford's signing represents. The Warriors are clearly doubling down on experience and defensive IQ, building a roster that's designed to counter the star power of the West not just with offense, but with relentless switchable defense. Pairing Horford with Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, Gary Payton II, and D'Anthony Melton gives Golden State 5 elite defenders who can be on the court together in closing lineups. That type of defensive unit hasn't been in the Bay since the height of their dynasty, when lineups featuring Iguodala, Draymond, and Klay suffocated opponents. If Horford can maintain even 75% of his 2024 playoff form, the Warriors will have added a defensive piece that could elevate them from a contender to a true championship favorite. The combination of experience, defensive rating, versatility, and leadership makes this one of the most impactful late career signings in recent memory. Al Horford's defensive brilliance is not only measured by individual matchups, but also his ability to elevate team-wide defensive performance when he's on the floor. A huge part of this stems from his elite communication. Horford is constantly directing traffic, calling out screens, and ensuring that younger teammates are in the right spot before a possession even develops. That level of orchestration is critical in playoff basketball, where a single defensive breakdown can swing momentum in a series. What separates Horford from most bigs is how seamlessly he transitions between schemes. He can anchor a drop coverage one possession, then hedge and recover against a guard-heavy action the next, and then hold his ground in the post against a center like Jokic without needing help. His awareness also shines in scramble situations when the defense rotates after a double. Horford often ends up being the one to close out properly, contest without fouling, and then box out to finish the play. Speaking of which, another overlooked strength of Horford's defensive game is his rebounding and how it directly contributes to shutting down second-chance opportunities. Despite playing fewer minutes than many starting bigs, Horford's consistently ranked among the league leaders in contested rebounds per 36, showing his willingness to battle against taller or more athletic opponents on the glass. This was particularly evident in the 2024 finals, where Dallas struggled mightily to generate offensive rebounds when Horford was patrolling the paint. His technique, boxing out early, using leverage instead of pure athleticism, and reading the ball trajectory before it comes off the rim, allows him to win rebounding battles against players who might appear to have the physical advantage. Golden State has long had issues with defensive rebounding when Draymond's forced to guard on the perimeter, but Horford gives them another strong rebounder who can clean possessions and get the ball back into Curry's hands quickly. Even more impressive is how Horford secures rebounds and immediately looks to ignite transition opportunities, often starting the break himself with an outlet pass that's perfectly placed. The Dubs thrive in these situations, as it allows their shooters to run to the corners while Curry or Hield find open looks before defenses get set. By combining rebounding, defensive rotations, and matchup versatility, Horford essentially adds 3 layers of defensive value in one package, something Golden State has desperately needed to complement their aging core.
I know, obviously, he's not signed yet. They haven't announced it yet, so we're not supposed to specifically ask.
What you gonna ask me for?
Theoretically, the way Draymond answered it, you've gone up against Al Horford a lot.
Who is that?
Yeah. What does a player who might look like him and play like him add to this roster?
Well, if there was I think he's Dominican, this player you're talking about. If there was a Dominican basketball player, 7 feet, something like that, can shoot the 3, can pass, used to play in Boston for 9 seasons, played in Philly. Anyways, if we were talking about a guy like that, he's won it, which I really, really, really respect. And he's been in this league for a long time for a reason. Elite defender, can make shots, plays basketball the right way, super smart, and more than anything, he wins. So wherever that guy ends up, I know he's gonna help that team.